All right, what's up guys? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about Shin Megami Tensei 5. The reviews have went live and it's very interesting to see where this game is being stacked up against some of the best scores not only across the industry for 2021 but also on the Nintendo Switch itself. We will be taking an in-depth look at both of those, so gear up, ready to go for this one. But before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell to get my videos first, and of course coverage of all things Shin Megami Tensei 5, because I will be having some awesome stuff coming up in terms of my own content and also some special surprises with a certain company. So look forward to that. But let's go ahead and get right into the review scores here, guys. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Metacritic, it's up right now. We got 45 reviews and counting. The scores are kind of fluctuating a little bit. It started out as an 87 and then it moved into an 86. So right now we're looking at about a mid to high 80s type of game, depending on how the rest of the reviews shake out. Right where I said it was going to be. I think it was on one of my streams that I had last week. People were asking me where I thought Shin Megami Tensei 5 would end up on the Metacritic score and if it would be good enough review scores wise to be in the game of the year discussion. And I stated that I felt that it was going to be a mid to high 80s type of game, so anywhere between 85, which would be mid to high 87. That'd be a little bit higher on the scale there. And I did state that yes, review scores wise, it would be in the discussion. Now at an 86, that would definitely put it in the game of the year discussion review scores wise. Now when it comes to actual nominations from websites, I highly doubt that they're going to give Shin Megami Tensei 5 any type of notoriety just because it's Shin Megami Tensei 5. It's not Persona. People have this certain, I would say, aspect to it. And most of the people that work at these websites don't play the game and they don't play this type of game, turn-based hardcore RPG that's brutal and punishing when it comes to difficulty and all that, even though there's an easy mode in this one. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Historically, that's what SMT5 is. So it was only recently with Persona that the games started getting that style, started getting a little bit more publicity to the point to where now it's a multi-million seller. And I think that SMT5, which I'm just abbreviating here, guys, Shin Megami Tensei 5, will be a multi-million seller on the Nintendo Switch. I think it's going to do extremely well based off of some other stuff that I talked about in previous videos. Make sure you check it out. We've got the COMG charts. We've got looking at Shin Megami Tensei 4 and how that did opening up, and then also the Nintendo Switch install base that's rapidly expanding at this point. So I do feel that SMT5 is going to do some numbers, and obviously these review scores are going to help out quite a bit. Right now I'm counting through and there are at least 2 perfect scores. And right now the breakdown is 42 positive scores to 3 mixed scores. So mixed is anywhere between like a 60 and a 70. Positive is anywhere between an 80 and 100. So right now the 9s are just racking up, the 9s and the 8s, but I counted just from some notable websites, Nintendo Enthusiast, shout outs to the people over there, 95 from them. Siliconera, they gave that 100. Also Gaming Age gave it 100 as well. So those are also 2 good sites. Plus RPG Fan with a 92, so awesome on that one. WCCF Tech, which this one was surprising to me, gave it a 95 as well. Now, I know a lot of you guys are wondering, well, what about the biggest review sites out there? So IGN, they gave it an 8 out of 10 from what I understand, and also GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10. Nintendo Life, also another great site, very fair when it comes to reviewing the games and what they do. Also a 9 out of 10 on that one as well. So a number of very good scores from across the board. Now, some of the negatives that some people thought was that it felt not like Persona. That was one of the things that was actually in the IGN review, is that they couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't like Persona when it comes to the characters and the personality and all that. And that's true. It's not like Persona, but I've already played Persona a million times, Persona 5, and I want to play something different for me personally. So that's not necessarily a problem with me because I was looking for something different. Also, there's some people who feel that the story isn't quite up to snuff when it comes to it, that the characters are a bit shallow and everything. I like the straightforwardness and like the wickedness of the characters and story, but that's just me. That might be something that, you know, other people don't like, obviously, on that one. Also, some people felt the graphics weren't good, but most people felt that the graphics were. I did see one of the mixed reviews where they said that the graphics, it's not going to win any awards for graphics. But honestly, I think that when you look at Nintendo Switch RPGs, it's hard to find any other RPGs on the Nintendo Switch platform that has better graphics in the Unreal Engine 4 than this game right here. I think the graphics are actually incredible. So I guess it might not be everyone's cup of tea when it comes to the graphics, but me, I like it. One of the mixed reviews in terms of what they had to say was that the music, I know VG247, which gave it the lowest score, they gave it a 6 out of 10, or more like a 3 out of 5. I think they use that type of scale. They stated that the music was grunge and they didn't really like the music. You know, from what I've heard, I feel the music is really good. So obviously I disagree with some of these negative things in terms of what they've said, but at the same time, it's good to go over both sides and kind of see, and they're entitled to their opinion. And that's the reason why I'm talking about it, because not only do we talk about the good, we talk about some of the issues that the game could have for everyone out there. But for me, from what I've seen, I think that the gameplay is extremely solid. It's the most solid that the Mega 10 / Persona series has ever been. I think that the gameplay in this game is ridiculously fun. What you can do with fusion, what you can do with essences, how just everything works, and the structure and progression of the game is just far more enjoyable with having enemies in the open-ended areas, and you can see what enemy you want to attack so you know what it is before you go into the battle. The structure of it, being able to grind and level up at your leisure and not have to go into certain things and have days cut into segments. It's just a different flow of a game, and I like that flow. It's much like a Xenoblade or a typical RPG that you've played before out there, so I'm down for that. Very fun game from what I've read. Some of the positive things that are said about it. Let's go up and see what some of the best things that are said. I know Gaming Age heaped crazy amount of praise into it, saying that it's a big meaty RPG, 50-60 hours plus. The Mega 10 formula works extremely well there, and it didn't feel hindered on the Switch hardware, so everything seems to be running very well as well. Also, Siliconera said this about it, saying Shin Megami Tensei 5 is an incredible and memorable experience. It does some extraordinary things, both in terms of gameplay and its story. So I have to definitely agree. From what I've seen so far, absolutely looks like it does some crazy stuff on there. Nintendo enthusiasts had this to say: Shin Megami Tensei 5 on Nintendo Switch retains all of the strategic combat elements that the Atlas RPG franchise is known for, but it radically revolutionizes its world design to create an adventure that is completely addicting and flawlessly complements the battle system. Very good quotation on that one. I think that that's what I've been saying about it, that the open-ended nature of the game complements that style of wanting to find what demon you want, demon fusion, and not having to guess, okay, I think this demon will show up, or I think this demon will show up, like we've had to do with previous SMT and Persona games. It makes way more sense for a monster collecting and battling type of game, which this is, so it perfectly suits what they're doing with the Unreal Engine, with the Switch, on the go, and also at home. So very good quotation. I love what he had to say there, and it's something that I've been saying quite a bit about this game as well when it comes to it. He also ends with this: it's truly remarkable achievement, resulting in easily one of the best games of 2021 and one of the best games on Nintendo Switch in general. Once again, very good there. I still need to play the game fully and beat it and do everything. The game's coming out next week, so I'm excited to talk more about it then. But at this point, it's very good to see the game do so well with reviews so far. I mean, I think it's awesome. Obviously, Shin Megami Tensei 5 is one of those games that it's going to be like a love it or hate it for some type of people, but if you're into RPGs, especially like Dragon Quest, or if you're into Persona, or if you're into these turn-based RPGs for the combat, then SMT5 looks to be right up your alley. Now, let's talk about SMT5 compared to the rest of the big hitters for 2021. So, number one apparently is this game called The House of Fate Morgana Dreams of the Revenants Edition. Has a 97 average on Switch, and I want to look at this game more because I find it just absolutely hilarious that this has a 97. So there's only 9 reviews of the game. There's only 9 reviews, but from what I understand, the game is really, really, really good. It's a really good game. Everyone here gave it, like, I see 8 100s, and then I see 180. So I think I need to check this game out. But anyway, that's the highest rated game on Switch. Next up, Tetris Effect Connected. That's a port of a game that's already been on other systems. That has a 95 on the Nintendo Switch, so that's a very good game as well. It's a must play that they've said on there. Dusk has an 89 that recently came out, so an 89 average on the Nintendo Switch, which is awesome as well. Dusk has always been a great game. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury has an 89 average. 89 average. Fez, once again, these are ports, so some of these are older games. Fez has an 88 average, and then right after that, pretty much the game that'll probably be the biggest competition because it's not a port or something from older or whatever the case is, and that is Metroid Dread with an 88. So if you compare that, now you kind of go down the list here. I'm just going to start talking about games that are the new titles that actually have a chance to compare or game of the year with Switch or even overall. So Monster Hunter Rise also has an 88 as well. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, once again, that is more of a re-release remaster, you know, and then right after that is Shin Megami Tensei 5. So if you look at the games that are pretty much the new titles that you can put into the game of your discussion, you've got 3 of them essentially that have ranked up just as high as many of the other games across all platforms, and that's Metroid Dread with an 88, that's Monster Hunter Rise with an 88, and also Shin Megami Tensei 5 with an 86, which it did have an 87, but it did drop down just a little bit right beforehand. Very happy to see Shin Megami Tensei 5 punching up there with the big boys of the year, and 2 of the 3 best in terms of new titles were third-party games from Nintendo's biggest partners with Atlas and also with Capcom. But I'm very impressed with Shin Megami Tensei 5. I think that this is a must-play RPG from what I'm seeing here, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of your thoughts on the game, and of course discussing later my content and what I'm going to be doing when it comes to Shin Megami Tensei 5. So what are your thoughts when it comes to SMT5 and how it's reviewing so far? Are you planning on checking out this game? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.